I've been interested in yoga for most of my life. I grew up doing rhythmic gymnastics, which, if you don't know what that is, definitely is an emphasis on flexibility. Rhythmic gymnastics is a lot of leaping, it's a lot of use of apparatus, like ribbons and balls and hoops and clubs and ropes. So it's a combination of athleticism and creativity. But again, definitely a big emphasis on flexibility. So I grew up doing the splits, I grew up doing forward bends, I grew up doing high kicks, back bridges, all of that type of stuff. When I moved to Texas, I was lonely. I didn't know anybody, and I would spend a lot of time at Barnes and Nobles. I came across a VHS set of yoga tapes that I purchased, and so I started doing yoga in my bedroom at the age of 13. That was my first introduction to yoga. I didn't really understand it, the philosophy behind it. I also I also purchased some yoga magazines. I remember having a magazine taped to my wall of sun salutation, and I would try to do it on my own. And I didn't really make a lot of progress. At the time, I was also very interested in kickboxing. So that was kind of my main priority in terms of exercise. So martial arts really dominated my high school experience. In college, I didn't do any yoga. I just did weightlifting, cardio. I worked in a gym. Nothing really spiritual at all. After college, I moved to Montreal, and that was when I purchased my first yoga mat and started going to yoga studios. I remember doing Bikram yoga for a few months, which, if you don't know what that is, it's very, very hot. It's in a heated room, and it's always the same sequence, over and over. When I first started doing Bikram yoga, I really liked it. It's very intense. Montreal is very cold, so it was nice to go into this very heated environment. It's an excellent workout. But I do remember at a certain point just finding myself feeling angry. Even though I live in Texas now, I don't really like being hot. I don't like the heat too much. So hot yoga has just never really been my favorite. I will say though, I recently did a class at a HOTWORKS, which is where you follow a routine on a TV screen in a sauna-like environment that's heated with infrared heat. And I did get a really good workout. Having your muscles nice and warm whenever you're doing yoga, I think it allows you to go a little bit deeper. I felt like I was more pliable and more mobile. So, it's probably a lot easier to do yoga warm than it is to do cold. Why did I decide to become a yoga teacher? Well, a couple of reasons. I wanted to deepen my understanding of yoga, and I wanted to really share my love of yoga with other people. Yoga is something that no matter how I'm feeling, whether I feel sad or angry or just sick, I always feel better after I do yoga. And one of my life goals is to be pain-free, to let go of pain. The ultimate goal of yoga, if you don't know, is to be able to sit in stillness, in silence, in quiet contemplation, in meditation. So yoga was actually developed thousands of years ago by people who were interested in meditation. In meditation, you sit in quiet stillness, in contemplation, you go inward. And I really do believe that that's where we can connect with our higher power, that part of us that is divine. So in the West, we tend to emphasize all of the physical benefits of it, your flexibility, balance, strength, and that's all fantastic. for me, I'm really interested in having a spiritual experience. So when I do yoga, I actually think of it as worship. I think it's really wonderful to be able to go to what I consider my church and move my body. So my goal when I do yoga is to feel good in the body. And that's what I want for my students as well. That's something that I'm very passionate about sharing, is the fact that when you do yoga, by doing the asana practice, by doing the breath work, it just makes you feel good. And who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want to feel good in the body? So now I'm on this journey to start my own studio. Really have just only been doing it for a couple of weeks now. It's definitely challenging. It's definitely something new for me. I'm not, never really considered myself an entrepreneur. I'm having to go out and find clients and find students, which is challenging for a number of reasons. Namely, the area where I live is a little bit isolated. I don't know a lot of people around here. I don't have a vehicle, and I'm not meeting a lot of people. So I'm trying to engage with the people that I already know in the virtual space. But I think that the message that I'm trying to convey about what I'm offering, you know, I don't have a lot of experience with marketing or sales, so there's definitely a learning curve there for me. I'm not going to give up, but I will say that this is something that's very challenging for me right now. I do need to be able to make a living. I did get hired as a substitute yoga teacher at a nearby gym, so that's something. It's a start. I've also been looking around for physical spaces where I can teach and actually meet people in person. You know, I think that I am better live, I'm better in person than I am in the virtual space. I want to be able to see people and to give them feedback, give them encouragement, maybe give hands-on adjustments, maybe give high fives, maybe even some hugs. So I'm really looking forward to maybe one day starting my own studio. There's a studio that I really love in Houston called the Atrium, and I can't really go there as much as I used to, and it actually makes me cry every time I think about it. Because it was the first time that I felt like I had found a spiritual home. I've been on a spiritual journey for the past, 15 years, ever since I started my Values Project. And that space was the first time where I really felt like, this is my home. This is where I belong. And so to feel disconnected from that has been very challenging for me. On the other hand, it's very inspiring. And my hope was that I could create something similar to that. If I can't go to that space all the time, then maybe I can create a space like that where other people will come and where they can connect to their sense of deeper purpose and their higher power. So I apologize for getting so emotional, but it really does mean a lot to me. And I find the practice of yoga just so awesome. I think that everybody should do it, and I just can't wait to share it with you.